Today, friends, we are starting our Gimhāna period. And for the next 7 weeks, coming 7 weeks, we are all going to dedicate ourselves to retreat inwards, okay, to go into ourselves. These 7 weeks is not a show for us to say, oh, I'm going to do Gimhāna practice, but it is actually a time for us to go within ourselves, to retreat inwards, to focus on our path of internal exploration. We are all going on a journey of exploration to explore ourselves inside. Attention to our intentions. What is going on within us? So we want to pay attention to intention, what is going on within us, get to know ourselves better. So this is a time, as just now Sister said, when we mentioned the word Gimhāna. Gimhāna means, in Pali, it means the hot season, summer. So what does summer signify? Summer means growth. You know, during the summer, all the plants, the crops, the flowers, they all bloom, they all grow. It is a season of growth. So this signifies for the next 7 weeks, we can actually start our journey of growth. And it symbolizes a kind of a freedom for us. It is a time for us to free ourselves from the clutches of what we have been doing over our lifetimes. It is a time of positivity, joy, and hope. Our overall arcing theme for the year is to be moving forward with courage and hope, right? So this is a time also. Gimhāna is also about being courageous and about having hope. So as opposed to winter, you know when we have winter, winter is very cold, right? It is a season where people actually can get depressed, you know, winter, because it's so cold, it's so harsh, and people like kind of hibernate. They just go into a kind of, they stop everything because it's too cold to do anything. Whereas summer is a time where there is a lot of life. People come alive. So it represents, Gimhāna means that we have a lot of hope and we have life within us. So let us take this opportunity to use this Gimhāna for our practice. So friends, there was this man, a young, quite an elderly man. So he went to the monastery and he was circumambulating the pagoda. So he was going round and round, he was, putting his beads, and then he was going around. And there was this wise monk who came to him and said, why don't you practice this going around this pagoda is very good, he said, but why don't you practice the Dhamma? And before he could say anything, the monk went off. So this man was wondering, practice the Dhamma. What should it be? I think I'm good. I will now read the scriptures. So the next day, he started sitting in the veranda and he started reading the scriptures very loud, you know. He was reading the scriptures and he was going on and on. And again, this monk came along and looked at him and said, very good, brother. He said, you're doing a good thing. But he said, why don't you practice the Dhamma? Carry on, practice the Dhamma. So he was wondering, practice Dhamma. I think venerable means meditate. So he then went to do meditation. He was continuing doing meditation for some time. And again, this venerable came to him and said, it's very good, do meditation, very good. But why don't you practice the Dhamma? I think that's very good. So this time he don't want to let go of him. He said, venerable, please tell me what it means to practice the Dhamma. You keep saying, I go down the pagoda, I read the scriptures, I meditate. Still you tell me practice the Dhamma. So what do you mean? So the venerable said, it's time to let go. Let go of life. Let go. So friends, you understand? So let go. It is a time of letting go. Not only just doing, but it is a time. So why do we have Gimhāna? Why do we introduce this Gimhāna first? So Gimhāna is a time where all of us are very busy, right? We are all working people, right? We work for our families. We have to feed our families, go to work. Never mind, Eng Hun don't need to go to work already. She's retired. But many of us, we have to go to work, yeah? We have to take care of our children. We have elderly parents to care for, right? We are caregivers for our parents, or maybe some family members. We are also young working adults, like Siulun, very young working adults who are chasing after their dreams, their careers. They want to make more money, become millionaire like Elon Musk, can control the world. He says something, market can drop 30%. So we are all in this worldly way. So how? So why do we want to have this Gimhāna? So let's look at some of the reasons why we want to practice as an individual and as a community we are going to practice. So first thing is, it is to step up our practice. All of us have been actually practicing, right? We have been meditating, we have been attending Dhamma talks, we have do good deeds. We all are practicing. But why this particular Gimhāna, what we want to do? So we want to step up our practice. Whatever we have been doing, we step up. How do we step it up? It's like at home. We have knife to cut our vegetables and our meat and so on, right? But after a while, the knife becomes blunt, right? Correct or not? A women will know, housewives will know, sisters will know, brothers, some will know. Not everyone. But the knife becomes sharp. Then only you call your husband, come please sharpen the knife sword. Sharpen our knife. So what we do, we sharpen so that it's easier, right, to cut. So Gimhāna is like that. We step up our practice to sharpen and to strengthen our practice. Means being attentive in our speech, in our thoughts, in our action. We are very attentive. That is what we mean, not sharpen. Go and don't take your sharpen and cut yourself. So that is what we are going to do. Then the second thing is we are going to develop understanding. Whatever we do, we pay more attention to develop our understanding. What is this understanding we are talking about? We are fully present to whatever pain arises in us. If we have anger, we have, people scold us, and we have this kind of ill will. Mother-in-law scold us, then we have a lot of ill will towards that person. Or we are confused. Sometimes we do good, but people don't appreciate us, or people put us down. So we are fully present to whatever that is going on, even the opposite. Even we're happy, you have to be present to the happiness. I feel so happy now. Even if you sit and sip your tea, what a feeling. So joyful. If I'm sitting here, I see all my brothers and sisters here, I feel so joyful. So we are fully present. So develop understanding means we are fully present to what is happening in the present moment. So that is how we are develop understanding. Then the third is we observe it not as a tradition. People say, now Gimhāna already, okay. So what we have to do? So it is just like, it becomes a tradition for us. But now what we do, we take ownership of it. I own this. This 7 weeks, I'm going to own it, and I am going to make it meaningful. I'm going to make it purposeful. So this is what we want to observe during the Gimhāna. And we want to resolve to be very determined. If you're not determined, if you don't put the kind of thought into your mind, this Gimhāna, I will give it my all that I have. If you're not determined, it's like, okay lah, like that, okay lah, I do little bit can lah. So if you want to really benefit from the Gimhāna, you have to make up your mind to give it everything you got. Don't give in to your laziness. Don't give in to your very happy excuses. Got a lot of excuses will come. And don't give in. Don't give up. Don't give up the practice. No matter how dead tired you are, you come back from work, you got your children to take care, you got a nonsense of a husband to take care. Never mind. Everything settled, you still sit for and you got also a good wife to take care of. Sister also good. So you sit, even though your body is like breaking, you still straighten up your body. And even if you sit for 5 minutes, you chant and you meditate, you have done good for that day. So this is one of the things that we can do, is resolve, the determination. Just like the Buddha, when he sat down and he made that adhitthana, he said, I am not going to get up from this seat, even if my body, the blood dries up, my bones become dry. He said, I will not get up. That's it. So we can make that kind of determination during the Gimhāna period. For those of us who wish to progress, let us put into observe this, why we are observing Gimhāna. And friends, we must understand, we're not sick, We're all very healthy, right? We're not dying, lying in the bed, gasping for breath. We are not living in a war zone. Is there war right now? Far away, right? We only read about it, then we say, ayo, pity them. But we are not in a war zone. We have so many good conditions for us. And yet, we never take the opportunity. So we must think, I have all the conditions necessary for me to practice during this Gimhāna, where although I'm individually practicing, but all over Malaysia today, all Nalandians are actually sitting with me together now to practice together. So as a community, as an individual, we practice Gimhāna together. So no excuses, overcome all the excuses. The mind is very good one. It's very good at giving excuses. So whenever the excuse comes, go in. And then you say, what is my mind telling me now? Pay attention. It says, you are very tired. No need to chant. No need to meditate. You said, no, I don't listen to you. Miss Mind, Mr. Mind, I am going to sit. So that is the adhitthana we can make. So last 15th of May, we celebrated our great Buddhas, our teachers' enlightenment. And after 7 weeks, after the Buddha gained enlightenment, upon enlightenment, the Buddha actually uttered this Payon of Choice. So the Buddha said, through many a birth in existence have wandered I, seeking but not finding the builder of this house. Sorrowful is repeated birth. Friends, this body is called house. The Buddha called this the house that we all live in. This one we carry around everywhere. Give us a lot of problem. Every day got to feed the fellow 3 times a day. Correct? Must sleep some more. No sleep, finish. What else? You got to clean it. So many things you got to keep this body. Just taking care of this body, the Buddha said, is very sorrowful. And life after life after life, we've been doing it. But we have good conditions. Lucky we are not in a war zone. Lucky we are not born poor. Lucky we are not born without a mental capacity. We have all the good things. So the Buddha says, sorrowful is repeated birth. And 7 weeks after the Buddha gained enlightenment, 7 weeks the Buddhas remained in Bodh Gaya. The Buddha again revised whatever the Buddha had discovered, especially dependent origination, forward and backwards. For 7 weeks, the Buddha again went through the teachings that the Dhamma that the Buddha had discovered. And the Buddha at this time is free from the burdens of samsara. There's no more rebirth, the Buddha said. No more rebirth for him. Kacau lah this one. No more rebirth. And the Buddha said, no more all this samsaric burden. The Buddha was very, very cool inside. Very cool. Nowadays you see people cool, wear $5,000 shirt thing, very cool. But actually the Buddha said it's not the outward. Inside is very cool. The Buddha was free of all this. And there was no pollution, no defilements. Only a lot of radiant light within the Buddha. So, the Buddha said, after the Buddha gained enlightenment, he was hesitant to teach the Dhamma. He didn't know whether there were anyone who can actually understand this Dhamma that the Buddha has discovered. But however, Brahma Sampati, the Brahma from the, heavenly world came down and beseeched the Buddha, begged the Buddha, please, Blessed One, please teach the Dhamma, because there are many of these people who got little dust in your eyes. All of you got little dust, right? That's why you are here. You got no dust, now you'll be in Sunway Shopping Center. So anyway, the Buddha saw and beseeched by Brahma, he said, open to them are the door of deathlessness. Friends, the door of deathlessness is open to us. And the Buddha said, let those with ears, we can hear the Dhamma, repose in confidence. We are confident of the Buddha Dhamma that can release us from this circle of birth and death. And the Buddha said, he was so weary. At first, he didn't want to teach the Dhamma. But then he said, this glorious and excellent Dhamma, he now preached to us. And because of that, today, we are able to learn this Dhamma. So, within the next 7 weeks, we are going to follow in the Buddha's footsteps. We are just going to walk behind the Buddha. So if you feel weary, if you feel tired, if you feel that you just cannot go on, you can't do it, just think, I am following the Buddha. It's like you're holding the rope of the Buddha. Although the Buddha scolded the monk who hold the rope of the Buddha, he said, why you hold the rope? But we hold on to it's like simile, yeah? You hold on to the Buddha and say, I'm holding on to the rope of the Buddha, so I will sit. And you have energized yourself. So friends, in Gimhāna, we have 5 daily practices. I think those of you who have been doing it often, you will know. But for the benefit of those who have not been familiar, let us go through again. So what do we want to practice during Gimhāna? So when we practice during this time, we start with morning chanting and making noble aspirations. So what do we do when we do morning chanting and we do noble aspirations? Chanting, you can do the standard, whatever you want to chant. It's up to you. Nobody is going to tell you you have to chant this. No need. Those of you who don't have a chanting book, please get a book from center. Can get, right, Sister Joanne? Yeah, please go and look for Sister Joanne. Take one home with you. Yeah, please take home. Take it home with you. You don't need to return back. You can keep it in your home. And then what we can do is to affirm. When we make noble aspirations, what do? We affirm to ourselves that today I will live a wholesome, I will live a skillful way of life. It's like, in daily life, we go into the mud. Imagine we go into the mud and then we wish to be clean. Can or not? You go and roll in the mud and then you wish, let the dirt come out. Can or not? Cannot, right? But when we do our spiritual practice, we're already in the mud already. Now what we do, we just slowly clean. A little bit here, a little bit there, clean sikit-sikit sini sana. So when we do morning aspiration, you aspire that I want to live a wholesome and skillful life. So it's up to you how you make your aspiration, but it must be skillful and it must be, try to make it skillful and try to make it wholesome. Try to remove mud. Then the second thing we do is meditation. Okay, we cultivate mindfulness, calmness, and mental clarity. So why do we do meditation? You've got to ask yourself, why I do? It helps us. Meditation actually helps us to slow down. When we are mindful, actually we go back a bit. We don't immediately say anything or do anything. So mindfulness helps us to slow down, to be present. And then it recognizes. When you're mindful, you will recognize joy. Just now when we hear our sisters singing, you feel very joyful, right? Right? So there is a mindfulness there when you see semoga semua, hidup bahagia. Yeah? So we are mindful. So the little joys that comes to us. If you see your friend or your husband or your children or your wife sitting and meditating, you recognize joy. There is a joy that comes to us. And we also see our frustration. Sometimes we are so frustrated. This traffic jam is worse. I wish the COVID still got. Right? Some of you wish are very bad people, no? The traffic is so bad. My son comes back and says, Mommy, the traffic is horrendous, It's worse than before COVID. How I wish it's like COVID, I say. So you see, we also see our frustration. We are present to our frustration. And then we see through whatever dirt is going on in our mind, the unwholesomeness or the goodness that comes up, we can recognize. So this is the purpose of mindfulness, to be slow down and to have a space for us to calm down. Last week, Venerable Jyotipanyo was here, right? And what did Bhante tell us? He told us the untrained mind is dangerous. Bhante said the untrained mind is very unstable and it is very dangerous, right? And he gave an example, a very good example of his own niece or someone related to him who was stabbed by the husband due to jealousy, even though they were divorced or something like that. So, about a few days ago, I was reading this news report about this man. He was just released from prison and he was living with a roommate. And you know, he killed his roommate. You know why? Do you know why? I was like gobsmacked. I said, what? Like this also got one. You know why he killed his roommate? Because he couldn't stand the sound. The roommate liked to eat candy, you know. You know candy, you unwrap, got sound, like crack, crack, crack sound. He couldn't take that sound, you know. He was so annoyed and irritated, he just stabbed his friend to death. You see how dangerous the mind is? This mind, even a rapper, a sound of a rapper can irritate people. So meditation is very important because it cultivates that kind of slow. It helps us to slow down and think, what is happening to me now? Okay. Also, listening to the Dhamma. We study the teachings and the scriptures. I think all of us, we understand this. But we're all busy people. Most of us, you know, I think 99% of the people in this room are very busy. So we never ask you to go and study the Tipitaka. Don't take the book, this stick, put there. Okay, Gimhāna, I'm going to study this book. And our Gimhāna, page 1 also belum habis lagi. So please don't do that. Yeah, what it means basically is you can choose a book to read. You can, of course, you're now attending already. Today we have already started. We have done meditation in the morning. We have done our aspirations. We have meditated. We have listened. Now we are listening to the Dhamma. So during Gimhāna, it's like you choose a book. Then in that book, maybe there are a few chapters that you would like to read and attend to. So every day read a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. So it's no point reading, thinking you can read a lot, but at the end there's nothing happens. So just read maybe a few chapters, then you reflect on it. You contemplate on it. Think how it relates to me. Okay? So this, like last year, I did my own retreat, 10 days, I did a self-retreat. So before the retreat, what I did is I went and chose Dhamma talks that are suitable for meditators, only about 30 minutes. I choose only those that are about 30 minutes, relevant topics which I know I will benefit if because during retreats, the mind is in a different kind of a state. So you choose that kind of talks that are relevant for us. So during Gimhāna, if you're not coming to the center during the days that we're not here, choose those which are about 30 minutes or so, and then put your body straight and listen. Because no point you choose 1 hour, after 15 minutes, head already like that. Okay, bye-bye, Bhante, sleep already. So we don't, I see Sulun laugh already, it's true. Correct or not? It's like that. So no need to choose of course, if you can do it by all means, I never say no. But what I'm trying to tell you is, we have very little time for our practice. So try to make it as skillful as possible. So listen to talks that are very short, very informative, useful for us, and then reflect on it. Make sure you reflect on it and also read books or little chapters or little verses and then contemplate and reflect on it. And also, it is a time for us to do random acts of kindness. There are many acts of kindness you can do, starting with yourself. Even for ourselves, it's also an act of kindness. If you're kind to yourself, you're not so judgmental on yourself. If you don't put too much of pressure on yourself, thinking other people want us to be like that, be kind to ourselves. It's also an act of kindness. Start with your own family members and also go on to do other acts of kindness. If you want to do charitable work, give a donation, give your service. It can be material, time, money, and even your presence. If someone is feeling very sad, lonely, having difficult feelings, do not know how to overcome their difficulties, even just listening to them, even just holding their hands, having a little bit of time for them, that is also an act of kindness, an act of compassion. So, what do you call that? Very important here is not what we give. It is about this unlocking our habit. We like to cling on. I got no time lah. I think I will not give lah. So we are very, we like to keep things for ourselves. So this is our habitual way of relating. So this Gimhāna, we learn how to unlock this habit of to me, to myself, and then try to give as much as you can in terms of your habit of clinging. Don't cling so much. When you give, just give. If people need time, just give them your time. If you have to just sit with your partner and be open to them, do so. Okay, this is a time for you to do. And last but not least, of course, is our evening chanting and again, our reflection. And we can reflect at the end of the day. You ask yourself, this day, if today was my last day on earth, Brahma Sahampati come and tell you, sister, it's your last day, Sister Paru. And what would I do? What am I going to say? So I said, have I lived my life satisfactory today? Gimhāna day 1, have I been satisfactory? Have I lived? How was my speech and my conduct? Was it joyful? Was it happy? Was it cruel? Was it vengeful? Was it hateful? Or was it a day, today is a day that I'm truly pleased with myself. I have done what I have done. I'm very happy with myself. Can you say that at the end of the day? So reflect before you go to sleep. Today, I have done what I should do. Or I have not done. Then I said, tomorrow, I got another day. Hopefully you have. Hopefully tomorrow, he said, I start again. Day 2. Day 2 of Gimhāna and so on. We can be caring and loving in our reflection. Be caring and loving. Don't be so hard. Most of the time we like to be very hard. Buddhists like to be very hard. Hard people, You realize, Buddhists always like to very condition. Although the Buddha said conditioning means suffering, but we like to be conditioned. So relax, relax. Gimhāna is just to be calm, be peaceful, and practice these 5. Very easy, right? Morning, what do? We chant, we meditate. Normally what we do morning is we meditate first, then we chant, and then we do our reflection. Done. Then we have our acts of kindness. Then we also do our listening to Dhamma. Driving to work, put Dhamma talk. Maybe we, during lunchtime, take a few minutes just to read a book, a Dhammapada verse, a Dhammapada story, anything you can do. And then evening also you repeat in reverse. You chant, and then you meditate. You do the reverse. Morning you meditate first, and then you chant. Evening you reverse, you chant first, and then you finish with meditation. And then you do your reflection. So how do we practice, sister? Yeah, very good. How do we practice? You want to hear how to practice? Yes, let's start. So, the Buddha, as we are now following the Buddha's practice, footsteps, remember, we are following the Buddha. Don't forget this, we must remember, just like the Buddha we are following. So what do? First thing you got to do is be disciplined. Everybody will tell you to be disciplined. So what do we do first thing in the morning? We chant, right? We meditate, right? So you have to get up early, sayang. You cannot every day get up at 6:30. Gimhāna, you get up at 7 o'clock. Tak boleh. So if you have to, since you're going to do morning chanting, if you get up, let's say you wake up at 6 o'clock every day. You put the alarm. Now you put 5:30, half an hour only. But in the night, go to sleep half an hour earlier. So balanced already. Pandai, Good, So what you do is start the day early with courage and with conviction. You must tell yourself, tomorrow I will get up at this time. When the alarm rings, the body must go up. No, don't roll, fall the other side and then come back and lie down again. So you must make sure you conviction and courage. It takes courage, for us to get up at a certain time. Our mind is very fixated. It thinks very hard, very hard, I cannot do. But if you just gently let it go, you can get up. So wake up early, start the day early, and reflect on your intentions for the day. What am I going to do today? What is the one thing I want to do today? So you can start like that. Huh? So be disciplined. Can or not? What? That side got one can, this side habis, finish. This side bakar already. So the second thing we can do is to make noble aspirations. Now when we do noble aspiration, please don't be complicated, yeah? People like to make very complicated aspiration. After they forget, they don't know what they aspire also tak tahu. So make your aspiration clear, make it very simple. For example, you can say, today, I will complain less. Easy enough? Can remember? Imagine you are a person like to complain. Hey, why like this? Why the breakfast like that? Why this one not ready? Why you didn't wipe the car? You like to complain. So today you can say, I will complain less. Or maybe you can say, I will try my very best to maintain mindfulness throughout the day, or to be kind, or to remove labels. Sometimes we like to put labels on ourselves. I can't do this lah. Sister Paru, you can give talk lah. I cannot lah. You are very good at this. I cannot lah. So we like to put labels. Everything cannot, hard, difficult, no way, this way, that way, every way, but cannot do. So we remove those kind of labels. So keep our aspirations simple and clear. Very clear, so that you know throughout the day, this is my aspiration for today. So make noble aspirations. Then thirdly, we must try how to practice is be energetic. How are we energetic? When we have laziness, our mind, you could hear your mind say, oh, so tired lah. Could hear not? Got not? This side all very good one. Call sister this side. I was joking, yeah. So the mind sometimes telling, oh, very tired lah. Then you must tell, no, I am not tired. You must go against that mind that tells you. So you beware, the mind tells you sloth, torpor, then you single-mindedly don't give in to laziness. Sure one, guarantee. You all can come and share next week what you have experienced. Mind will sure tell. Very hard, cannot. So we must be energetic. Very excited, no? It's like going shopping 5 hours, no problem. No problem. Go complain or not tired, no. Most complain, go to tea shop or go to makan shop and eat already. Can go happy hours, just go happy hours. A few hours can go, right, with friend, drink tea or whatever tea you will drink. Few hours never complain, but sit half an hour meditation, finish, cannot. Why? Because the mind, you listen to the mind. So beware, be energetic, because you have to single-mindedly, you tell, I will do this means I will do. If today is my last day, I will still do. So we have to be energetic. Just like me, so energetic, you see, I talk very loud, right? Okay. But if you're a beginner, then you can start. This is a time to establish practice. How you can establish your practice is, if you have some good friends, sometimes you alone are very hard to do. You're very lazy. So what you can do is to get a few good friends, and then you form one group, have a group, and then you say, okay, remind, 5:30 we get up, wake up together, remind each other. Then you sit together. You sit in your home, she sit in her home, Joanne sit in her home, then this group of people meditate together. Isn't it nice? Can or not? Form groups, little groups of people, so you remind each other. You don't have to call the fellow, hey, Suiluin, wake already. No need like that. You leave it to him, but you just form a group among yourself. And then, same thing you do in the evening, 9:30 maybe, just before you go to bed, then again, the group can sit together. So, if you're a beginner, establish your practice. This is a good time and a good excuse. Now you can give excuse. Yeah, I should start this practice. A good excuse to start your practice together with other spiritual friends. But if you're already a practitioner, many of us, we have been doing Gimhāna practice for a long time. We also practice in our daily lives, meditation, chanting, and making aspirations. But if you have already done, you're already an established practitioner, what you should do, use this time to be consistent and strengthen your practice by being, overcoming. We may have get rid of our gross defilements. We don't get angry so fast. We are a little bit more patient. Sister also says, Sister Paru got a lot of kindness, but you don't know when I get angry, what I do. So we have a lot of latent defilements within us, very deep within us. So now, for those who are already practitioners, who have established a practice, this is the time to watch your latent defilements, how it is coming up, and then try to strengthen your practice on that, and be consistent in what we do, and also have a sense of urgency. You never know what will happen the next moment. Are you a guarantee or not? You guarantee or not this whole year you won't go away, bye-bye. Tada, no guarantee, right? Next minute also you got no guarantee. You walk there, the car come and knock you down, finish. You just driving, another fellow will come and hit you. You never do anything. You're just driving, some other person will come. A few months ago, there was a family of husband, wife, 2 children, just driving on the road going somewhere. Another car come and hit and whack the whole family, gone already. You never know. So have this sense of urgency. The Buddha said, samvega, that we have no time. It's like your hair on fire like that. No? So you have to quickly do the practice, establish your practice. Yeah? And remember, this is how we can overcome old age. Old age is coming, sickness is coming, death is coming. So start the practice. Yeah? So during Gimhāna, we also have this practice. What do you see on the screen? Rice. Now rice price very high already. But never mind. In Gimhāna, these grains of rice, all this practice, when we are doing all these good deeds, on a weekly basis, our sister, the team will introduce to us many acts of wholesome, how to cultivate wholesome habits. But while we are doing this every day, we encourage every one of our practitioners, during the day, after you have finished, take a spoonful of rice. Keep one bowl full, one bowl empty. Otherwise, you have to run to the fridge all the time to take your rice. So after you have finished your night meditation, or any time, it's okay, anytime. You take one spoonful of rice. What does this rice symbolize? I'm going to explain to you. Then you put it into an empty bowl. So every day you take one and put, one and put. What does this signify? It is to encourage our good deeds. So when we put that rice, one spoon, it is actually a reminder to us. It's very graphic, that reminder that rice represents life. It is a life form. And then it is a reminder, today I have done good deeds. If you have not done anything, will you take and put or not? You put cannot, musabada. God lah, you got do 3 out of 5, okay also, still put. So put a spoonful of rice into an empty bowl to signify, yes, I have done good deeds. You say sadhu to yourself. Say sadhu to yourself. Many people, we don't want to say sadhu. You say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Today I have done many, many good deeds today. Yeah? And it is also a practice. As we practice, we are prolonging the sasana. Do you know, each of us, when we practice, we prolong the sasana. In this particular teaching, the Buddha said, any monk, any nun, layman, or laywoman who has a reverence and respect for the Buddha, respect for the Dhamma, respect for the Sangha, respect for the training, that is your morality, respect for mental cultivation, then the Buddha said the sasana will be prolonged, the sasana will live long. So during this Gimhāna period, while we are doing all these practices, we are actually helping to prolong the sasana because we are learning the true Dhamma, right or not? Correct? So you must remember when you put the rice, today I have to prolong the sasana. How wonderful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. You can tell yourself. Then also, it is a reminder to today, I have been courageous. I have been disciplined. And I have been steadfast in my effort today. It is another reminder to us. This grain of rice, every grain of rice is steeped in energy. It is steeped in effort. It is steeped in steadfastness to remind us. And it also a reminder that we are actually planting good seeds. Good seeds will bring good harvest. So we are already planting good seeds, not only in this lifetime, for this lifetime, to feed ourselves in future lifetime. You've got to feed yourself to have good health, to have long life, to have good families, good bosses, to have good colleagues, to have all the conditions to practice. So we are already planting good seeds. So this is a reminder for us that you're already planting good seeds for those around us and ourselves. And finally, during the course of the Gimhāna, you can actually collect the rice and you can bring it. I don't know whether you all notice or not today when you come to the shrine hall. Did you all notice anything? What did you all notice? Anything different? What is that? Haga. What is that? What did you all notice? Anybody? There was a big pot, right? Afterwards, those who didn't see, now when you go down, you please go and look at it. There is an empty, now it's empty, no good deeds, nobody do good deeds already. So because we start today only lah. So there is a big pot there, which is for all of us when during the week we have done our good deeds, we have collected our rice grains. You can actually bring it to the center and all of us can collectively put it into the bowl. If you do wish at home, you can collect a handful of rice, you can cook it, you can offer it to the Sangha. You can even cook and offer it to your family. So you have many options to do. So by the time the 7 weeks is over, that full, pot will be full because so many of us, we have done so many. And as you see the tub is filling up, put your palms together and say, Sadhu. I see so many good deeds. You can see meditation floating up. Or you can see acts of kindness floating up. You can see aspirations floating up from the tub. When you see, you have a lot of joy because the thing is filling up. So the more you do, the more the tub is going to fill up. So this is one of the habits that we can accumulate during Gimhāna. So often we wonder, have you all asked this question? Got right? Got right? Life is so good for you all. No need to ask, hey, what's the meaning of my life? Especially when difficult conditions arise for us. What's the meaning of my life? My life is, why am I not happy? I myself faced this, when I was in my 30s and 40s. I say, what the hell? What is happening to my life? You say, why like that? 40 also not yet go for one holiday, also not yet go. I didn't go for holidays until I was 40 years old, overseas. I see all my friends going for holiday and I look at my husband and I say, did I marry the right person? So bad. At that time, that's many years ago. So it's like that, I say, why am I not happy? Why I don't seem to have enough? Other people have so good. I only drive one broken down car. How to find peace? Often we wonder, right, what is this meaning? So for every one of us, each of us got different experiences. Each of us got our different views in our life. But one thing, whether it's all the sister here or all the brother here, sister, brother, every one of us, all those outside also the same. There's one thing that's very common to all of us. That is, all of us want freedom from suffering, right? And we all want happiness. Correct? Everybody desires, we all wish to be happy. We want to be free of any kind of difficulties or any kind of suffering. If you don't have this thought, that means you're arahan already, So there was this, I think few days ago, did you all read in the news, you would have read about this 18-year-old boy, right, in USA? You all read? You all don't read news one, very good, So this 18-year-old boy, he took a gun, he shot his grandmother who was taking care of him. Grandmother taking care of him. He shot the grandmother. He's so angry. So a lot of anger in him. He shot his grandmother. Then he went to a primary school and he shot 19 students dead, died. 2 teachers died. And many others were wounded. On top of that, the husband of one of the teachers, 2 days later, he died of a heart attack. He was heartbroken. His wife died. And he also died. So that means now 21 people have died. But do you think it affects 21 people? No, right? It affects the families, right? So many. Hundreds of people are now affected. Then the society also gets affected. So you can see life got all these kind of unexpected. Imagine you're sending your child to the school, and then this kind of tragedy happens. Human beings, we have this kind of problems come without invitation, without our knowledge. But that is the nature of this world. So what we can do is to find our wishes are always changing here and there, and we cannot avoid, no matter what we try, how much we do. The Buddha said, this thing we cannot be free from. When you're born, old age will come to you, like me, old already. Just now they say average age, very young one. This one, make the average. Is one of the reasons for the age not to be young. So we will have old age, we will have illness, we will have parting of ways, we will have. So if we want to be free, then we have to live in harmony. No matter what, we live in harmony. So our theme for this year, Gimhāna 2022, is living in harmony, right? So we want to, live in harmony with all our self. First, you got to start with yourself. Harmony in self, right? If you have no harmony in self, there's no harmony outside. Because if you yourself are facing a lot of difficulties, when you look at everyone else, there's a lot of difficulty. So we have to be harmony with ourselves. So for the next 7 weeks, we will actually go every week, we will cover one area. That means next week, we will cover on the topic of harmony, living in harmony with oneself. And the following week, we will have, I think, a Dhamma talk by Venerable, and so on. We will do family, relatives, friends and colleagues, how to be harmonious with society by cultivating healthy body, healthy mind states. And most of all, why we have this kind of dissatisfaction. It is not because external. When we have dissatisfaction, it's not because of the people or the circumstances. It's because the Buddha said, we are all pricked, this thorn, rose got thorn like that. We got this thorn of ignorance stuck within us. So much of ignorance within us that we cannot release ourselves towards happiness. So in the next few weeks, please follow us on Gimhāna to learn more about how we can live in harmony while we are doing the 5 practices. And hopefully we can, learn something from these teachings. Now, there was these 2 Brahmins. They were very old. They were very elderly, very advanced in years. So they went to see the Buddha because they said, Blessed One, we are so old. We are going to die, But we have not done anything good, Please tell us, please teach us how to, we are so afraid, we are so much in fear. Please teach us something for our welfare and our happiness. Old already, then go and approach the Buddha. And then the Buddha said, yes, memang this world is led by this kind of old age and sickness. But if you are restrained, all you have to do is to restrain yourself in speech, in thought, and in action. That is already your shelter, your protection, your island, your refuge, your haven for this life and in your future lives. And in this, the Buddha said, for one swept away by aging, there is no shelter exist. No shelter for us, because old age will come to you, whether you like it or not. Today you are sweet 16. Tomorrow you are horrible 60 already. All the pain come already. So the Buddha said, do meritorious deeds that brings bliss. So in this Gimhāna, let us do these meritorious deeds so that it doesn't mean you're not going to age, No such thing. It doesn't mean you're not going to get sick. Yes. Sickness say, oh, this person practice, cannot. Sickness cannot come. Run away first. No such thing. Sickness will come, old age will come. Finally, death will come and claim us. But we are very happy when death comes. We say, okay, I'm ready. So always I visualize my death. I said, I lie down there, say, oh, death come already. I say, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to close my eye. I'm going to do deep breathing. But don't know it happened like that or not. Let's see. And sister just now was saying, Sister Paru, like that. I'm very happy, you know why? Because at least I'm alive. I can hear all the good things. When I dead, you all tell me I cannot hear also. Gone already. So it's good when you're alive and people say, oh, sister has done this, sister has done it. I feel very happy because I've made myself useful. I have done something good in my life and people recognize it. So the Buddha said, do this kind of meritorious deeds. Don't neglect. Don't be neglectful. Don't be indolent. Don't be lazy. And the Buddha said also in this sutta to Venerable Mahakasyapa. Mahakasyapa is already an arahant. He's very old. He's an arahant. No, he's very old and his body is very sick. He was suffering from pain. And so the Blessed One went to him and asked, how are you doing, Venerable Kasyapa? And he said, yes, Bhante. Yeah, this pain is coming and going. He knows, he's an arahant, he knows. But then the Buddha again remind him. Doesn't mean you're arahant, you forget everything. The Buddha also remind him, teach him again the 7 factors of awakening. And in these 7 factors, the first 3 is what we are actually practicing earnestly. The rest of that will come. When you practice earnestly, the first 3, the last 4 will come as part of the practice. So first is mindfulness, the Buddha said. Analysis of qualities, that is investigation of the Dhamma, that is reflection. You reflect and you contemplate what is happening to me now. And persistence. That means you keep on, put in the energy to persist to do these things. So these are the 3 very important factors, 7 factors of awakening. But the 3 is very important because once you have mindfulness, you analyze and you investigate and you persist, the rapture will come. When you see, the joy will come in you. Naturally, it will arise. The serenity will arise in you. Concentration will deepen. This is basically in meditation. But even in our daily life, if you do the first 3, you will find joy in your life. I'm sure many of you have experienced, right? Right, sisters, brothers? Very good. I hear Brother Tong. Sadhu, Brother Tong. And another thing we have to do is right view and understanding. Now, when we practice during this Gimhāna period, anybody going to check on you or not? Anybody going to come and check on you? Nobody policeman here, no policewoman to check on you. It is our freedom of choice. We have freedom. Nobody is going to ring up. Sister Joanne is not going to say, you all got practice or not? Let me see whether you got right notes or not. No. We all have freedom of choice to do what we have to do. Nobody is going to check on us. So we take responsibility for our own learning. And the Buddha's teaching is actually about putting down, letting go. It's about unloading our burden. We got a lot of burden one. So the Buddha's teaching is actually about letting go one, about releasing ourselves from our defilements. So we have to have right view and right understanding. When we want to actually progress speedily in this, happily on this path, we have to have right understanding. Meaning, we don't have resistance. We resist. Even to do certain things, to meditate, we resist. After all pain here, I think I better not sit. After my leg pain, how? I always got cramp, so I don't want to sit. So we have to resist. And then we have to have, when we understand we don't have resistance, we don't have resentment, we don't resent it. We're so happy, hey, time to meditate. Wow, I got. And then we don't suppress. While we sit there, we are complaining, the mind is complaining. We don't suppress. And we don't shy away for the practice because we have right view and right understanding. We are so motivated. We said, yes, this is what I want to do. My friend is meditating. I also will sit with them and meditate. And the mind is well taught, very disciplined. So when we have right view and understanding, we don't have difficulty in the practice. It's only when we have wrong views, then we have difficulty. So there was this householder, lay person. His name was Tapusa. So he went to see Venerable Ananda. And then he told Venerable Ananda, Venerable Ananda, we are lay people, we like to enjoy, we indulge, we delight. And then we enjoy the sensual pleasures, we like to eat, we like to have parties, we like to, do many sensual things. We like to wear nice clothes, have nice cars, we want to be rich. But he said, this renunciation, you ask us to renounce. I've been telling you all this morning, give up, don't give in. Everything is about giving up. What is this? Is the Paru. Hey, you all like to do these things, and you tell us not to go shopping. Hey. So you see, so he said, Tapasa told Venerable Ananda, we like. But this renunciation looks like a abyss. Abyss is like a ravine, no? Look down, wow, it looks so deep. So hard. He said, but he said, when I look at all these monks in the discipline, those who are practicing with the Buddha's community, many young people actually joined the community. And he said, but these young people, they seem to be very happy. They seem to be very peaceful. They seem to have given up everything, but they seem very peaceful and very happy and very, confident, very eager. So what is the difference? What is the difference? Why they like this, we are still don't very hard to give up. You want to know, Anna? You want to know what the Buddha said? Sure not? Okay, now I show you. So the Buddha said, yes. The Buddha also agreed. Yes, he said, when I was an unenlightened bodhisattva, and the Buddha also was like us, lay people. The Buddha was not awakened at that time. The meaning is his past lives. The Buddha also did not find the practice appealing. He did not find it appealing. He said, why? Because we know, right? Renunciation is good. We know renunciation, seclusion is good. But yet very hard to let go. Why? The Buddha said it's because his heart did not leap. I've been talking about renunciation by letting go, but nobody seems to be understanding. So the Buddha also like that. At one time when he was a lay person, same thing happened to him. And he said it's because the reason was, on reflection, the first thing he did not know the drawbacks of sense pleasure. We keep on indulging in our sense pleasures, then we got no time for our practice because we are all the time indulging in it. And the second thing is because upon reflection, he did not realize the benefit of renunciation, the benefit. So this is the two reasons why he did not take up this practice of renunciation. He was still carrying on with the sense pleasures. And so, he did not develop this practice of renunciation. It's very true. Like many of us, we say, what for? I'm so busy. My boss asked me to do this. I got to work until 12 o'clock to do this. If not, tomorrow I will get resignation letter. So we do not see, because we do not see the drawbacks or the dangers of sense pleasures, and we do not see the benefit of renunciation. But after the Buddha reflected, he said, maybe I should try to see how I can reduce my sense pleasures. And then I go and do this practice, and then I renounce a little bit, see what happens. And then when he found out, after some time practicing, then the Bodhisattva realized, actually the sense pleasure got drawback. Actually, it's actually giving me more suffering. And he found that there was actually a lot of benefit from renunciation, because the mind is a little bit more developed. He finds there's more peace, there's more happiness, there's more kindness in him, there's more loving compassion in him. So he knew then, because he knew the drawback of sensual pleasures and he knew the benefits of renunciation, then his mind was so eager to go. So next week we're having some retreat for some of our members. So I'm sure you all are happy, looking forward, right? Those who are going for retreat, your mind is leaping towards renunciation. Now you cannot see your social media, you cannot have dinner, you cannot wear makeup, you only sleep on the ground. No, I got bed for you all. So your heart leaps at renunciation because you're so happy. You see the benefit of renunciation. But those who say, "Hiya, cannot eat a die lah," then you don't see the benefit of renunciation. And I see some sisters here, the hair all gone already, botak, see bald. And look at them. They have renounced. They have actually gone for renunciation. And you look at them, they are very happy, they are very radiant. Actually, you ask them to continue, they would love to continue, right? But no choice, have to come back and take care of the husband, the pesky husband, and the children have to take. Husbands is okay, I'm just joking. You all are very nice people, actually. Yeah. So, so the Buddha was very confident because he saw the benefits of renunciation. So friends, there are 3 types of renunciation. Now, I'm not asking you all to become monks and nuns. That is not what we are trying to do here. So there are these 3 types of renunciation. You want to know the 3 types? Really? Okay. The first one is outward renunciation. So what is this outward renunciation? Is where a man or a woman leaves the household life and becomes a renunciant. I think you all know that, right? A monk or a nun, when they are wearing the robes, you know, immediately they are renunciants. That means they have given up the householder's life and they want to practice a life of a homeless one. That is the first form of renunciation. The second form of renunciation is inward renunciation. So this is very hard to do. Outwardly you can, no? So you see, you become monk and nun doesn't mean you are inwardly you are renounced. You still have a lot of struggles to go through. Many have to struggle, just like us, they have to struggle. Only thing, they are wearing robes, but they have given up a very big part of their life. But internally, they are still struggling. We try a little bit to do our inward renunciation of greed. We renounce a little bit of our aversion, and we renounce our delusion. Whenever we are deluded, we reflect. So these 3 things we can renounce: greed, hatred, aversion, and delusion. And during Gimhāna, we take much effort, take a lot of effort to actually go towards inward renunciation. You may not wear the robe, you are lay people, all of us are lay people, but we can do inward renunciation. And the third one is, of course, the ultimate renunciation, where we renounce everything, destruction of all defilements, we have full liberation, and while we are striving for outward renunciation, I think all of us, one day we hope we will have this outward renunciation, right? Or still want to stick to sense pleasure, not in this lifetime, in future lifetimes, we make an aspiration that while we are striving for outward renunciation, and we are also going for ultimate renunciation, why not we put effort as an individual and as a community? Let us do this Gimhāna practice so that in between we are still doing our inward renunciation. Can we do that? Renounce little by little. We're not asking you to renounce in totality. Don't tell your husband, "Hey, don't come and talk to me. Today I silent." Not like that. Don't be so crass. Be soft. So while we are doing this as a community, I will leave you with this message from the late Venerable Ajahn Chah. And he said, if you let go a little, it brings a little bit of peace. A little bit of peace also ada lah. Just close your eyes. If you meditate for half an hour, you will get a little bit of peace. If you let go a lot of peace, you get it brings a lot of peace, right? But if you completely let go, which we are not asking you to do in Gimhāna, complete means that means you just let go of everything, then you'll bring complete peace. And dear friends, in the Dhamma, I ask everyone during this Gimhāna period, do keep a little notebook. It's good for us as beginners, even as we progress along the path. Keep a notebook every day to record all our insights. We get all this, really, I experience this. Oh, I experience this change in me. Oh, I experience this thought in me. So all these insights, all these aha moments you can record in your book. There was a lot of good sharing. So again, in this Gimhāna, we also have a lot of insights. So we can actually share with them to inspire others. It is not to show off. Hey, look at me, I did this, and then I had this. No. It is to inspire others. When we share our insights, our realizations, or our reflections, then we can actually inspire others. Oh, I also will start my practice. Yeah. So with this, I wish all of you to strive on earnestly and with a lot of confidence and conviction. I wish all of you good health, peace, and happiness, and happy Gimhāna period. Namo Buddhaya.